Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the reflective and enduring text, Meditations, penned by the philosophical leader and Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius. Stitched together from his private notes, Meditations explores the deeper musings on life's existential questions that troubled Aurelius during his reign from 161 to 180 AD. In its pages, you'll encounter profound insights on mortality, virtue, the fabric of the universe, and the search for justice in a world seemingly governed by chaos. The author, Marcus Aurelius Antoninus, is heralded not only as one of Rome's greatest emperors, but as a steward of Stoic philosophy. His reign embodies the Stoic ideal that it is possible to maintain virtue and integrity amidst the opulence and power of imperial office. Meditations remains a testament to his intellect and his commitment to the philosophical way of life. This book beckons readers from all walks of life but resonates particularly with those intrigued by ancient thought, individuals grappling with the fear of death, and the curious souls who ponder the interconnectedness of fate and reason. Join us as we unpack the timeless wisdom of Meditations and discover why this emperor's introspective diary has captivated minds for centuries. Meditations, the Stoic Thinking of a Philosopher-King. Introduction. Embark on a journey of Stoic wisdom with a Philosopher-King. In the expansive realm of the Roman Empire, amid its peak during the 2nd century AD, a ruler emerged, Marcus Aurelius, who was not merely an empire's figurehead, but also a profound thinker. Navigating a terrain fraught with political intricacies and the complexities of governance, Aurelius sought solace and wisdom in the Stoic tradition, which celebrated Stoicism as a life philosophy, fostering resilience, equanimity, and the mastery over one's own thoughts and reactions. As the last of the 5 good emperors, Aurelius etched his profound reflections in Meditations, a veritable canvas of his inner landscape that has since guided countless individuals through the vicissitudes of life. From literary giants like John Steinbeck to statesmen such as Bill Clinton, Aurelius's timeless insights have resonated deeply, transcending eras and continuing to bestow a sense of clarity and direction. Why do his insights captivate the modern mind? Aurelius constructs a framework deeming the unfolding of events within the world as part of an intricate natural tapestry, where each thread is purposefully interwoven. He reminds us that our pain is but a product of our own perceptions, and in the embrace of death we find an ally, not an adversary. Through Aurelius's narrative, we examine these underlying threads that constitute the Stoic tapestry, learning why the only true defeat lies in yielding to our fears and desires rather than in life's inevitable setbacks. Part 1. The Universal Reason. Logos as the architect of existence. Travel back through the annals of time, and we find ourselves amidst a plethora of ancient philosophies, each grappling with the mysteries of existence, each striving to articulate the nature of reality. Among the many voices, one concept resonated, transcending individual schools of thought: logos. This multifaceted term, often translated as reason, was integral to thinkers like Heraclitus and Aristotle, and was deeply influential to the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius. Imagine the cosmos as an intricately designed mechanism, each component perfectly calibrated and orchestrated by an intelligent force. This is logos. Aurelius believed that logos doesn't merely construct the physical forms that we observe, such as the solidity of the earth or the majesty of the trees. More crucially, it underpins the very order of the universe, dictating the laws of nature and the structure of society. Within the human domain, logos assigned roles with purposeful design, some as artisans, others as philosophers, and Aurelius himself as an emperor. Each position, whether that of a servant or a sovereign, was determined by the Logos, deserving of dignity and respect in accordance to its divine blueprint. Why accept these roles, some might ask, when inequality seems inherent in their distribution? For Aurelius, the answer was clear. Logos embodies the ultimate expression of life's immutable essence, the grand design that orchestrates the symphony of the universe. It is the guide that propels existence towards progression, towards what is most fitting for the whole. In Aurelius's view, the hardship he endured, the passing of loved ones, the revolts against his rule, were chapters within a grander narrative authored by Logos. To him, all that transpired was a deliberate movement within this universal dance, inviting neither resistance nor regret. Embracing this stoic perspective, Aurelius held steadfast to the conviction that everything occurring was not just pertinent, but perfect in the grand design of things. Part 2. Embracing the inevitability of death as a natural transition. Throughout the annals of history, the spectre of death has loomed large over humanity, a phenomenon both inevitable and impartial. In bygone eras, where the shadow of mortality touched lives early and often, fear of death was a common and powerful sentiment. Yet, Marcus Aurelius, a leader entwined with the threads of fate and power, looked upon death with a philosopher's eye and a stoic heart. To Aurelius, death was not an ending to be feared, but a natural passage, a continuation of the universal law of Logos. He saw each individual, whether cloaked in the vibrancy of life or embraced by the stillness of death, as an integral part of the greater whole. To die was simply to allow one's individual Logos to be relinquished, returning to the vastness from whence it came, to be reshaped into new forms of existence. Life and death were not opposites but companions, dancing in an eternal cycle where energy never vanishes, it merely transforms. Moreover, when death's hand is extended, it is precisely at the moment decreed necessary by the greater order of Logos. If every breath and heartbeat are part of a grander scheme, then so too is the cessation of them. To Aurelius, fearing the countless ways death may find us is akin to fearing life itself, for both are underpinned by the same natural laws. Facing his own mortality, Aurelius saw the same terminus that awaited the noblest among us, the philosophers, the heroes, the leaders. When his beloved wife passed, a profound sorrow may have gripped him, but he held on to the wisdom that in the face of death we stand unified. It is not the eminence of one's life, but the acceptance of one's death that distinguishes the truly enlightened. Thus, Aurelius lived life prepared to meet his end whenever that moment might arrive, whether it be in the quiet of old age or the chaos of battle. To him, a life lived well was a life lived unshackled by the fear of an inevitable departure. For in the eyes of Logos, each ending is simply a prelude to a new beginning. Part 3. Make the most of your fleeting moments on earth. In the transient whirlwind of existence, one truth remains in stark clarity. Death is impartial, unpredictable, and it waits for no one. This makes the precious currency of life, time, something not to be squandered on the trivial or the needless. What we know of Marcus Aurelius suggests that he embraced this urgency to fully inhabit each moment, to rise above the pettiness of daily grievances and focus on a life well lived. Imagine living with the knowledge that the next heartbeat might be your last. Does it make sense then to cloud your days with complaints, to darken your moments with frustrations over the insignificant? For Aurelius, and indeed for anyone following his stoic path, the answer was an emphatic no. To dwell in discontent over life's demands is to miss the splendor of being alive. Even the tedious requirement of holding court was met with a willing spirit, for in every duty there is an opportunity to serve the greater design that Logos has woven. The author understood that our days are finite, each dawn a fresh chance to accomplish, to contribute, to create. Eschewing the lure of idle rest, Aurelius chose engagement over indulgence, action over indolence. Yet this drive for productivity was not without its challenges. Time wasters, those who indulged in frivolous chatter or drew him into inconsequential disputes, were a test of patience. Still, he recognized these interruptions as parcel of his duty, his prescribed role in the vast and intricate plan of Logos. In the face of weariness or the temptation to yield, Aurelius found resolve in his identity not just as an emperor but as a conscious agent of Logos. Drawing from this wellspring of Stoic thought, he persevered, reminding himself that his time was too precious to waste, his responsibilities too important to neglect. So let us take a leaf from Aurelius's tome of wisdom. Let us not let complaints tarnish our lives or falter in the face of our many, often mundane, obligations. For in the end, our legacy lies not in the grievances we voiced, but in the layers of life we've touched, the actions we took, and the stoic acceptance of our role in the ever-evolving Logos. Part 4. Seeking clarity through logic in a world of emotional tempests. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius, an emperor at the zenith of Stoic thought, held fast to the conviction that a life steered by logic is far superior to one at the mercy of capricious emotions. To him and his philosophical companions, the ultimate virtue lay in nurturing a mind disciplined by reason, an embodiment of Logos in human form. The Stoics proposed a world ordered by Logos, where events unfolded with meticulous precision and purpose. They urged a vision of life where every occurrence, whether seemingly favorable or adverse, is folded into the grand design of the universe. The idea was not to be swayed by raw emotions, but to view each situation with detached clarity. Take, for example, the unfortunate circumstance of your house being engulfed by flames. While instinct might compel a response of despair for the loss of possessions, Aurelius would argue for a stance of calculated composure. There lies an opportunity in such a disaster. Maybe an insurance settlement opens doors to new experiences, or the necessity of relocation leads to serendipitous encounters that enrich your life. The inherent nature of events is, therefore, mutable, shaped profoundly by personal perception. It becomes essential to understand that emotions, although intrinsic to human experience, can cloud judgment and derail our path to truth. Lust, anger, vengeance, these potent forces obscure the clear light of Logos, sowing confusion and darkness where there should be understanding and enlightenment. Aurelius, ever aware of his position and responsibilities as a ruler, spurned the allure of emotional impulsivity. His leadership demanded rationality, a mind unswayed by the tumultuous seas of feelings that could undermine his effectiveness. Thus, whenever the storms of life threatened to capsize his stoic equilibrium, Aurelius would retreat into contemplation of Logos and his role within its vast network. It was in this sanctuary of thought that he reclaimed his sense of serenity, a place where the emperor could align with the cosmos and with the orderly procession of life. It was here that Marcus Aurelius found his power and his peace, not in defeating emotions, but in understanding their place beneath the overarching dominion of logic. Part 5. Inner Peace in a World of Chaos. The Stoic Perspective on Suffering. Picture the ancient days of the Roman Empire, where even an emperor wasn't sheltered from the myriad dangers that lurked in every shadowy corner: the sting of betrayal, the grief of loss, the pain of war. Marcus Aurelius was no stranger to such adversities. Yet within these trials, he unearthed a sanctuary of resilience through the Stoic acceptance of Logos, the belief that everything, including suffering, has its rightful place in the cosmos. To Aurelius, the physical torment that one might endure, the cruel intensity of pain, the sharp pangs of poison, the indignity of injury, was all part of the natural course plotted by Logos. The grand design often weaves patterns that necessitate hardship for the balance of the world to be maintained. Hence, even in the throes of pain, or as tragedy takes away those dear to one's heart, Aurelius found solace in considering each event as a necessary brushstroke in the vast canvas of existence. In an epoch fraught with personal losses, where the emperor saw many of his offspring and his treasured spouse succumb to the arms of mortality, what was his refuge? It was the notion that each life, and its inevitable end, contributes to the common good, as decreed by the unerring wisdom of Logos. Aurelius remained steadfast, buoyed by the understanding that to reject one's fate was to resist the very essence of nature. Within this Stoic framework lies a profound empowerment, the distinction between what is within our control and what lies beyond. True harm, as defined by Stoicism, comes not from external forces, but from our own choices and reactions. Such is the creed of Logos, that the external cannot wound the core of our being unless we permit it to. What, then, is the response to the unavoidable onslaught of pain, acceptance, and progression? For Logos is intrinsic to every individual, an unassailable fortress of logic within. To lament or to rail against the inevitable is to dishonor the eternal reason that forms part of our very essence and to cause oneself further distress. Aurelius, emblazoned by this philosophy, found not merely an explanation for suffering, but a way to traverse it with dignity. In recognizing pain as an integral element of life's tapestry and affirming that the only real anguish arises from within, he evinced an exceptional tranquility in the face of life's tempests. Final summary. In the insightful book, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius, an emperor steeped in Stoic philosophy, presents a worldview in which Logos reigns supreme. This guiding principle and rational force shapes the universe, granting profound meaning to every event, every life, and every demise. Aurelius teaches us that life's myriad experiences, from the seemingly tragic to the joyous, are all threads in the intricate tapestry woven by Logos. Our fear of mortality, our resistance to suffering, even our struggle with our roles in society, these are addressed and assuaged by the understanding that everything transpires according to a grand, infallible blueprint. Thus, embracing the Stoic way, as Aurelius did, means transcending the fear of death, accepting the necessity of pain, and fulfilling one's social obligations with grace, aligning oneself with the universe's perfect order. Through this lens, we find reason, purpose, and peace in all life's facets, assured that each serves a part in the cosmos's exquisite design. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.